Most people think that they're lazy. I most certainly thought that for many years of my life. But what I actually ended up finding out was that I wasn't lazy. I was just overwhelmed. Uh, Most people confuse the two, and society now is more busy than ever had. It has been. It's more noisy. There's more things that are keeping us tied to our phones now more than ever. And so you're probably not lazy. You're overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, it will lead you to be more procrastinated in most of your life than what you would be if you weren't obviously distracted or any of those sort of things. So in this video, I want to break down and explain how overwhelm almost ruined my life and some of the steps that I took that might be able to help you through the situation you're going in. So let's get into it. So right out the gate, obviously, the meat and potatoes of the video, overwhelm disguises itself as laziness. And the reason for that is, when you're overwhelmed, your body just really shuts down. When you're trying to do too many things at once, you don't have enough clarity or enough focus, enough attention to detail to really hone in and do the thing that you need to be doing. And so, in my life, I used to think that I was only able to continue to like strive towards my goals, or the only way to be able to become the person I want to become is if I took on like the weight of the world, and not necessarily like the weight of the world, I guess, but just like all the things that I could do that I thought were helping me push me towards that goal. So like what that would look like in real time. When I was a personal trainer, a lot of individuals that I had gotten as clients were dealing with this really one big issue, and that was they wanted to make a dramatic change in their life with their health. And most people, when I talked to them for the first time, like an introductory type of session, I found that most people were trying to change every single thing in their life to help them become healthier. And the problem was that they're trying to change their diet. They're trying to fix their exercise routine. They're trying to, fix their daily schedules to accommodate all these things. And, that's only three of probably five or six that you could probably think of at the time. But just imagine trying to change everything at once and trying to stick to that routine when let's take, for example, some of these males and females that I was seeing, these men and women, 10 years of not having any exercise habits, not having any nutritional habits, good nutritional habits, having no, you know, consistency with their daily schedules, with their work, with their families, or anything like that. And all of a sudden they want to change all this stuff at one time. And that's what overwhelm is. And it leads you to believe that you're something that you're not. Maybe you're lazy, but that's just not the case. So what I focused on with them was we don't need to focus on all these at once. If, obviously, I never try to focus on the money. I did a lot of stuff to try to help people for free. Obviously, I need to make money, but my goal was what can I do to simplify this and get you there in the shortest amount of time so that then we can move on to the next thing. And so for me, I always recommended 12 weeks. 12 weeks is a really good time frame to break down the negative habits and build and um, basically get those habits to stick for the long run. And you've got to continuously reinforce that after 12 weeks, of course. But I thought that, in my personal opinion, that's a really good starting point to develop the habits and the structure that you need so that you can continue to strive forward after you complete that goal. So I always focused on um, exercise first. Exercise, I feel like, now I think we all heard like, all right, your abs are made in the kitchen. And so the biggest the biggest thing that people need to do in order to fix their health, if they just did one of the things, would be to focus on your nutrition. So I thought if I fixed their exercise habits, I could fix those a lot quicker than their nutritional habits. Of course, while I was doing that, you got to build upon what like set the stage for that structure for the nutritional habits to be changed. So like I asked them to do, like a daily uh, diary or food log of something of that sort. So log your food for the first 7 days, Monday through Sunday. And while we're working on, excuse me, while we're working on your exercise program, we will look at your log daily and just kind of do little tidbits here and there. So that's kind of how I structured it. And a lot of that is the way that it needs to be taken in order to begin to break down the clutter of your life so that you can be more focused and intentional with the things that you're trying to accomplish. Point number two is clarity creates energy. And so when you think about all the things that we tell ourselves throughout the day to day, especially if you're on this in the stage of your life where there's a lot of negative self talk, when you don't have clarity or structure in your day to day, you're going to have no energy. And so basically, your brain will waste an exorbitant amount of time on overthinking, on indecision. So that's where the clarity of your day to day and structuring out your day, your weeks, your months, even. Some people do it as even far out as a year. But when you have clarity and you have focus on where you're going, your brain will spend less time and energy on the indecision and the thinking part, and you can just focus on just doing the thing that you need to do. Energy is a huge thing because how many times have got back from, or like, let's just say you're waking up for the day and you just find yourself like, I need my coffee or I need X, Y, and Z in order to get me into that mode. Reality is you probably just have a very overwhelming day, right? Tie it into point number one is overwhelming disguises itself as laziness. But the reality is you just probably don't have a lot of clarity. And I got a bunch of early videos talking about, like creating a 30-day development plan. And that's just like a basic idea of what you could do. There's journaling. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you could do to begin to find clarity within your life so that you can create and build on the systems that will ultimately help you achieve a higher energy state so that you can go throughout your day not feeling like this little spike. Like, right, most people, I take my morning coffee and I do the thing, and then it's like, but only 2 or 3 hours later, you're already looking like, all right, well, where's my next caffeine fix coming? I'm looking forward to my lunch so I can just relax. And then it just kind of compounds from there. So you know exactly what you're doing. Um, Working towards all these things just kind of becomes a byproduct of, you don't really have to put a lot of energy into that because the systems and the structures that you create will just ultimately put you on autopilot towards what you're trying to achieve. All right, the last one for the tip that I have for you guys, and I've said this many times in many videos, so I'm going to constantly repeat it so that it just gets hammered home with you guys because I systems, systems, systems. Systems will beat motivation every single time. Systems create structure, they create the habits that you need to keep you moving. They're reliable. For me, like it really started from the most simplistic of habit creation, and the fact that back in the day when I would go through periods of time where I wasn't able to maintain my exercise habits or my eating habits, I would put my gym clothes on my desk. And that way, when I wake up in the morning, they're just right there. It's like, well, you're making it so much easier for you. So you're taking all that thought process out of it. And all you're going to just hope to do once you build these small daily wins and these habits begin to form and you're consistent with them, it's going to be a byproduct of what you do throughout your day to day. You're going to know that I set my clothes on my dresser because I'm going to work out. And then you make it, you timestamp it like at 4:35 or whatever time you need it to be. I'm going to work out. Here's my clothes. Same thing with your food. You prep your food on Saturday and Sunday. You put it in the fridge and you say, here's my 3 meals for my day. I got my breakfast, I got my lunch, whatever it is. That's how you structure it. That's how you build the systems that are going to help propel yourself into the person that you're trying to become. So that's pretty much it, guys. These three things and all of what I've talked about are what I believe will really help propel you into this person and help you beat overwhelm because you're not lazy. It's just a byproduct of being too overwhelmed with all the stuff that you got going on. Simplify your life, create the systems, have clarity, and find ways to simplify your life. I just can't say that enough. The systems portion of it is huge. And so what I want you to do is I've got three videos. Three videos. This one here is, you're not lazy, you're overwhelmed. The other one is stop trying to balance everything. And the third one that I've recently created is why most people never change. So I would circle back through all these three videos. You can find those up here, either the left or right hand side. I highly encourage you to go through all three of those because there's a lot of similar concepts. And if you're looking to change your life and start to get you back on the right track, maybe you fell off for a short period of time, and that's totally fine. That's going to happen to all of us. And so we're here to build it together, find clarity, build our systems, and help pursue us push us and pursue the ultimate goal, which is being the best version of ourselves that God intended us to be. So thanks again for you guys' time, and really appreciate all you guys viewing and stopping in. It means a lot to me. And we'll see you in the next one.